Hello guys, it's Thursday again, and here I am, and I hope my mic is unmuted. It seems it is. Alright. That sometimes happens that I forget to unmute it. One of the most common things that people do on a Zoom call, you know? Tell someone else that they're muted. But that's a good thing that I caught last week, or was it last week? When was the Jamstack conference? I think that was like 2 weeks ago or something like that. And they had a board. They played some kind of a game that I'm sure that you know this. That a moderator asks a question and they do a survey among developers and you know in general web development people, and they see what they respond to those questions. And then the game is that one team is trying to guess the most answered thing. Like, for example, what is your programming language? And if 50 people say JavaScript and it makes the number 1, then the team is supposed to guess that is JavaScript. Now, the good thing is, or fun thing is that they asked, what was the thing that you learned in school? It means like university school, right? That you studied to get into web development. What was the thing that you studied and you never used? Now, there are answers like functional programming or Lisp and things like that. But the best thing was I think that was in the chat actually. It was not from the playing teams, and that was PHP that they learned it and never used it. And I thought, isn't it the other way around? Like PHP is something that we all used but never learned. But anyway, it's been a nice thing to remember, you know, the old days when you were working with PHP. And do you remember the debugging when we had to do echo something and die? Yeah, that was the old way of debugging. And the best thing was debugging on production when, you know, everyone was sleeping at 2 a.m. You go right into production and see what works and what doesn't work. Still happens on some sites till this day. But let's get back to Jamstack on .NET. Now let me put here some music. I can't do two things at once, you know. So I have to. Oh, I thought I had it prepared. No, here we go. Now you saw a bit of my screen. I'm trying to get it cleaned. And the icons are just popping up, and that's because I save everything on the desktop and never clean it up. But yeah, maybe it's Christmas is coming, and there's a curfew in Czech Republic. We're not supposed to be going anywhere, so maybe during Christmas, you know, long nights during winter, maybe I'll get to cleaning my desktop, or I'll just put it all in one folder and call it cleaned. Also a possibility. But let's get back to Jamstack on .NET. So we did it last time, right? We looked at static and tried to create a page using static. Now it did work, but it didn't work for content coming from a headless CMS. So if I remember, we had a one markdown file here and tried to display that on the site. And that worked. I was able to get an hello world message to pop up. But then when I tried to connect it to the headless CMS, and I don't really remember how I did that. Let me check. So we did add here one service delivery client. We added the project ID. This is public, so feel free to take it and take a look what kind of data are in there. It's actually this project. I think I have it open already. Here. Yeah. So there are 5 articles. There is also some other content in here. We use it pretty much for all the starters because it nicely combines all the features that are needed for a typical static site. But the most important thing is that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articles. And those are the ones that I want to render on the live site. Now, the last time I tried this, I ended with an error. So that was this part somewhere. Now, this is already debugging, but let me see. Program ended. All right, let's try it again. Terminal we used. Okay, let's close this. Okay, here we go. Oh, I think I was debugging. So let me try to do a .NET run. I don't really remember how it worked from the last time, so I'll try .NET run. Okay, so this is the error that I was stumbling upon last time. So value cannot be null. Now let me make this a bit bigger so that you can see it properly. So value cannot be null. Parameter value. Now the problem is that I'm never using parameter value, which is nice. Do you remember the errors from .NET that were saying like reference? What was it? The reference error. I have to look it up. Let me see. So .NET null reference error. Is there? Now I want an image, not video, no image. There we go. You see, this was the old and awesome screen. Where is the image? Where is the image? Oh, come on, I hate this. You know, whenever you click on this, Google takes you to that page and it doesn't scroll to the actual image. So let me see if I can do this. Right. So this was the old object reference not set to an instance of an object. This was, if you haven't seen this, well, I guess there is nobody on this earth that never seen this error. I keep seeing it all the time. But the thing is that if you saw a message like this, you had no idea. If you had a longer line, right? You had absolutely zero idea which one is it, like which, parameter is causing issues or which variable is causing issues. Here, it tells me parameter value. So this is nice. This is so much better than the plain .NET, but still I'm not using value anywhere. So I still feel like it's not my problem. It's not something that I'm doing wrong. But let's see if we can get on top of this. So the problem is caused by articles pipeline. That's clear. Because here you see articles pipeline process render razor value cannot be null. So it's got something to do with razor. When we look at articles pipeline, there is process module new render razor. So in theory, if I take this out, I should be able to see it go through. Now, where do we have any values? Like we have with model, that's still model, config object model. Specifies a model to use for each page based on the current input document and context. So that's what we have here. And I've checked, this always has content, right? So this should always be there. Now we can try it one more time, with debugging. And I added breakpoint here, so it should always stop here. And let's see, start debugging. All right. So process modules, that's correct. And now we're here, right? The document is something that is article/J. So this is a document, right? Now, what I can do here, you can just put here document.as content article. And this has a value. This is fine. If I do this 4 times, so this is first, second, third, fourth. Let's check if this still has a value. Yep, everything is in here, right? Content is here. We're using only titles, so title is right here. Let's try it one more time. Here we go. And this still seems like it has a value. So I don't know what's wrong, why the value is suddenly empty, but this works. I see the title here. I see everything in place. Okay, exited with code 1. That does not sound good. Critical, you see? Value cannot be null. Static bootstrapper, value cannot be null. Yeah, so something is null there. Now, the only thing that I'm using next is the file name. But I assume that this is okay. If it's looking through, well, what I can do is, let's try first thing, okay? First thing, I'm gonna remove the model. And I'm gonna just put here, instead of the model title, I'm just gonna put here hello world. And I'm just gonna switch to the terminal and try to run it this way. Okay, so still getting the value cannot be null error. So the problem is not here in the article. All right, now, so the other problem might be that it cannot find the file here. So if we look at this, merge content modules, patterns, no value anywhere. So let's check documentation of static. I'm interested to see if there is something about Razor here. So we went through this last time. We installed everything was working. So where do I find anything about Razor? Content, data, metadata, front matter, Razor, here we go. Okay. Because static uses a custom Razor base page, the Razor IntelliSense engine doesn't actually know about the default namespaces, base page, or model. While these will be set during generation, it might be helpful to also let the IntelliSense version of Razor know about them so you get better hints and errors. To do so, create a view imports CS.html file in your input folder. Okay, fair enough. So view imports, and let's put all that in there. If you do create a view imports file, it will also instruct the static Razor engine during generation. It will instruct the Razor engine during generation. Instruct how? Generally, this isn't a problem since the file is just reiterating what static is doing behind the scenes. However, if any of your partial views change the model with the model directive, the inherits directive in the view imports file will take precedence, and the model you define in partial view will not work. In this case, you should define partial model using full inherits directive. For example, model int should become inherits static Razor page int. Okay. That doesn't make so much sense to me, but we'll see. So this is the view imports and article. So what's wrong here? Article.cshtml. Ooh, he doesn't like something. iDocument does not contain a definition for title and no accessible. Okay. So it says here that you should define your partial model, but this is not a partial model. This is a normal model. But okay, let's try this. Yeah, inherits static Razor page. And let's put, okay, what was there? Cantico content models article. Model.title. Okay, now it seems to be fine. Let's try this. No, still this problem here. Now the weird thing is that it happens only with the last document. Now let's take a look. I'm just gonna put this here. Let's take a look. Where is this thing generating the data? Probably not here. So this is input. This is all my files. I think it was generating that in the www root, but nothing's there. So. But it's clearly happening in the render Razor. Okay, let's try to add here. Try to add the debug flag. And let's see what's going on. Processing razor for articles/g.html. Exception, system argument null exception, value cannot be null. Okay. I want to see, okay, where do I find the code? GitHub. Where is this sitting? Let me see. Articles pipeline, let's check. Render razor. Yeah, show me what that is and where it's coming from. So this is static.razor, render razor. Oh, was it frame? What was the namespace? Static.razor. Not here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see if this is here. Extensions, maybe static.razor. Here we go. Static.razor, render razor. Here is render razor. Base object, okay, okay. Let's see if there is any value around. No. No value around. Processing razor. Okay, I want to know where this message gets rendered. I think I can search in this repository, right? Yeah. There we go. Render document async. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. So render document async, I document input. Processing razor for arrow articles.8/g to save display. Okay. So this still works. Then we go into stream, content stream, input stream. Layout path. So maybe it's this thing. Get value async. Normalized path. So there's no other log here. View start path. Where is that? Okay, so we need to set a non-null view start location if an explicit layout is provided, but an explicit view start is not. Using a null character which is not a valid file name on Windows or Linux. Otherwise, the Razor engine will default to looking up the tree for a view start that will take precedence over the explicit layout. I don't think that's a problem. Layout path get value async. So where is the layout path coming from? That's coming from here. Layout path is render razor and the path is here. Okay, but how do we check this here? So this actually sounds like parameter name value. This actually sounds like this method. Layout path is, what is that? private config normalized path. Where is config coming from? Is this coming from system or what's that? And the layout path is defined here on with layout. But why would this be set for all the files and only for the last one it wouldn't? Code writer write. Compile page, render page, compile page, get page from stream. Okay, no idea what's happening there. Let me see again. I'm just gonna check the static documentation again. Check the razor again. Okay, there is nothing about that here. So let's check again, just getting started. Where is that? Quick start, okay. Okay, output folder. Okay, let's check the content static module. Maybe there will be something there. Okay, let's try to do it this way. Okay, we're currently having process modules. So let's try to comment this out. Input module, output module. Set destination, I think we have that here. Right. Let's try to do it this way. So I should be seeing something in the output window, output folder. Okay, I got input. I don't see any output folder. So where is it? I have it under articles. Nothing was generated. Why not? Why was nothing generated? 5 output documents, articles pipeline. Five output documents. Or is it outputting? Maybe it's outputting into here. But no, it doesn't seem like it. These are just libraries. So why is there no output folder here? Nothing. Am I in the right folder? Z project stream static starter content lumen. Nothing is outputted. Even though I have 5 files here. So something's not right here. Cleaned temp directory temp. See, something's happening there. But this used to work, you know, last time. So it says the pipeline is automatically detected, which is true, and it works. So why it's not doing anything? Set destination config from document. It's the same. New normalized path, article / doc as content. .url pattern, in my case it's slug. .html. Process modules are hidden. Output module, new module, this new write files. But the folder is not there, it's just not there. Let me try to run it here. Oh, and I'm just gonna try to run the PowerShell window with admin rights. But that shouldn't be a problem. So .NET run, oh, just .NET run. Cleaned output directory. Starting articles pipeline, input phase execution, blah, blah, blah. Cleaned temp out directory, but output directory is just not there. Okay, let me create it manually. Now it was removed. Why was it removed? Okay, I don't get what's happening here. Why would it remove my output folder? So I'm just gonna go back here and try this instead. So this would be a good opportunity to take a look at what's happening here. So here we have bootstrapper.factory.createWeb args run async. And here we have bootstrapper factory, create default, and here we have create web. So what's this doing? Creates a bootstrapper default configuration, including logging commands, and so on. Configure services, nothing like that. Okay, let me just go back. Just comment this out, put here create web, args. Now in this case, okay, I'm just gonna add this file back, index.md. Let's see if that's gonna help. Unable to resolve service for type, okay. That's because I have this pipeline here. Let's just comment out this whole thing. The model item passed into the view data dictionary is of type static common document, but this view data dictionary instance requires a model of type canonical content models dot article. Okay. So it seems it found my view. Okay, how do we make this? Let's call this backup. Okay, so now it seems it worked. Now we got the output folder here and index.html. Okay, which shows hello world. Nice. So at least we got something working. Now I'm gonna uncomment this pipeline, which means I have to have at least the service set up. So what if I just leave the create web in place and leave this in here? Value cannot be null. But I got at least something here. Sitemap XML. That shows one page. Okay, not the best result, but at least we got. But it's 1630. Yeah, that's right. That's from this build. Okay. Now I'd be interested to know what's the difference between these two. If you guys know what's the difference between create web and create default, why is one in here, one in there, and nobody provides any kind of documentation around this. So it says here that, okay, creating a bootstrapper for static web initializes everything. So you'll need to generate your website. You'll need to, okay, so unless initializes everything you'll need to generate for your website. While you can certainly extend static web with new pipelines or custom modules, you shouldn't need to for most sites. And here, add the service configurations, and here it's create default. Oh, here it's create default as well. And here was it? Oh, here it's create web. So what's the difference between these two? Nobody says here. It only says, like, it only talks about the configure services. It doesn't talk about the create default at all. Pipeline will be automatically detected. All right. That is true, but I still see value cannot be null here. And it's not the problem of the view. It's probably problem. And it's also not a problem here. Now, what's the... So I removed the render razor completely. So let's just add here the ldebug. Where is the problem occurring now? Value cannot be null. So content post-process, render content post-process templates, execute if render razor. Why is it rendering razor? Why is this called at all? While executing pipeline content post-process. That's not even my pipeline. Value cannot be null. Skipping pipeline, blah, blah, blah. Okay, content output, assets output. Okay, so good question would be, how do I know what all pipelines are there? So this is sitemap output, assets output, content post-process. How do I know what's happening here? So do I find it here somewhere? Okay, let's see content here. Accessing content files, preventing content file output. By default, content files are output to their destination path. You may want to adjust this behavior for individual content items. On files or directories, this behavior can be controlled with the should output metadata. Now, no, I want to go one level up. Run it, configuration, show me configuration. Bootstrapper defaults, create web extension method that automatically configures all default behavior. Okay, that's what I'm interested in. So the Bootstrapper does a lot by default when you call create default. However, if you'd rather have more control over any of the default behavior, you can call a different creation method. So what does the create? We'll create a Bootstrapper without any default behavior, and it will be up to you to add any default behavior you want to use. Add any default behavior you want using other Fluent methods. Okay. Create default will create a Bootstrapper with only the default values or default features you specify. Okay. So in that case, there are some pipelines already configured in the create web, I assume. Let's see. So I assume this is an extension, or is that core? Okay, how do I, okay, I'm just gonna try to find it here. So it was create web, right? No, nothing's there. How come it's not there? Maybe it's in the static.web here. So create web. There we go. So Bootstrap Factory create web. I want to know where this is defined. Create web, create web, create web. Here it is. Create web. This Bootstrap Factory. Factory create default args. Add web. Okay. Now I thought that, you know, sometimes okay, this is just clicking on it, but I thought that GitHub already could navigate to where this is defined by just clicking on it, but it doesn't seem to do that. So let's just see add web in this repository. Release, no, that's not what I want. This is what I want, I guess. Okay, where is it? Add web. All right, here we go. So Bootstrapper add pipelines, Bootstrapper factory extensions, assembly, add hosting commands, web services, input path, excluded path, output path. So a lot of stuff that I don't have any control over. Sounds like I want to use this. So here it says, for example, this creates a Bootstrapper without adding pipelines from the entry assembly automatically. Okay. That sounds better. So let's go back here. Create default without default feature pipelines. That's what I want. Okay, this worked. But it didn't do anything. Clean temp directory. No pipelines are configured or specified for execution. All right, now a good thing would be, you know, to see some kind of a table that says if you use create web or add web, these are all the pipelines that will be used, and this is what they actually do. or somehow see a list of all the pipelines that I can use, and how can I add these pipelines into the Bootstrapper. Because right now there's an add web, but what if I don't want everything from there? Right now I have to go through the code and see what I can do. So add web services, like what does this do? What does this do? Okay, here I have to go, you see I have to go through the code. So add input paths, what does this do? Get list, normalized paths, web keys, input paths. So I assume this adds paths from configuration. Now, where is the config here? I assume that's this part. Or it isn't? Nope. No, I don't see any config here. So web keys, input paths. Maybe this is, okay, this is probably also here. Let me see. Web keys. Add settings if not existing. Now I want to see where web keys are defined. Web keys, input paths, input. Oh, okay, it's too many things. Let's try to do input paths. Okay, input paths can be set from the command line or configuration file. Input paths, all right, so this is just the name of that, nothing more. Let's see. By default, the Bootstrapper will automatically add all pipelines by type in the entry assembly via reflection. But that's fine, that's what I want. It contains several methods to add additional pipelines by either type or as an instance. The Bootstrapper also provides a Fluent API specifically for defining pipelines using a builder style. Okay, I think that now it's easier to actually read the code, I'm afraid. If we go back a bit. Where was the, oh, come on. Add web. So if I do the same thing here, bootstrapper.add pipelines. Add pipelines. Yeah, I can do the same. So if I just copy the whole thing, log and check version, configure engine. So what if I do this whole thing? Static app and static web bootstrapper factory extensions. Static web and static app. Nice. So I'm just gonna go back here. I just use the create default then. Because this is just too much to handle, to be honest. Okay. Articles pipeline output. Finished articles pipeline output, phase execution, 5 output documents. And yet there is no output folder. But at least we don't see any errors now. It's not generating anything, but that's probably because I have this here. Write files. But if it's not writing anything, so new content article client, new set destination, and it's not even generating the markdown file now. But that's probably because, okay, so that makes sense. So probably there is something here. I don't know what that is. That takes the markdown files and renders them. So some kind of a pipeline. Let's see, content. Content is a pipeline. Get pipeline documents. The non-archive content, process the content. Filter document and write files. Now, why the write files is not working in this case? So the only thing that comes to mind is that if the file is actually empty, it's not writing that. But if that's true, then this is freaking confusing because even the folder is not existing. And that's weird because you see, if I create the folder here, output, yeah, go inside and create a file. Okay, I'm just gonna create a file here, test. I'm gonna run this. And it removes the folder. Why the hell does it remove the folder with my files in it? It doesn't even care what kind of files are inside, it just removes the folder. Why would it remove the folder? This is really weird. It's supposed to output phase execution, 5 output documents, and it's not writing anything. Why? And why is it deleting the folder? This is articles pipeline output. And I'm using the debug flag even. Set destination, finished module execution. Set destination, that's all set. Okay, I'm just gonna, I don't know if this is a problem. Let's say test.html. Ryan says, hey Ryan, good to have you here. If you add a folder and then open it in Explorer, it will prevent the process from deleting it. Yeah, that's not true actually. Look here. I'm just gonna create a folder here called output, right? would you expect that that framework to delete your own folder with your data in it? You probably wouldn't, right? Because you say it should render the pages in there. Then I run it. Still open in the Explorer, still open. There you go, folder is gone. And you are moved to one level up. And the funny thing is it says cleaning temp directory temp, but yet the folder stays. But it removes the output folder. Why would it remove the output folder? With my data in it, right? Just added the text file there and nothing's happening. Yeah, did not expect that. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that too. Multiple documents output to test HTML. This probably wasn't intended. Of course it wasn't intended. Good that it's pointing that out. But the thing is, it's not making it all the way to the folder, or it's making it there, but something deletes everything right after that. Now, why? What is doing that? Why and how do I find out and how do I fix that? Starting output phase execution. It's, you know, up till here, this is all expected. Write files, 5 output documents. This is all expected. Finished articles pipeline output phase execution. Let's try one other thing. Just gonna put a breakpoint here, right? And I'm gonna run debugging here. Okay. Now, output module write files. Yeah. Has exited. Why? Once again. It's not writing anything. Okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Five output documents, yet nothing is rendered. I'm just gonna put this back. Because this clearly works. The destination is set, but this is not working. And I don't know why. Because if I remove content, maybe it's the bootstrapper, but I don't know. So if I do create web here, create web, why is it? There's no argument given that corresponds to record format RX, okay. So you want this? Okay, now you work. Okay, now it says value cannot be null. See, it tries to, output is also from sitemap. There's output from assets. Oh, here we go, output. I guess we got two outputs here. Finally, we got something done here. So let's make this CSHTML again. So it's not outputting that. Sitemap XML. Oh, yeah, I actually wanted that. Okay, it's rendering one thing /article. Why would it do /article and nothing then? So there's nothing and there is /article. But this is not even, this is not even set anywhere. It's probably based on the template here, but why would it? I don't get it. It still says this here. Sitemap is still here. Well, at least it's now, keeping the folder in there. But it still says output of articles pipeline 5, and those files aren't there. They're just swallowed somewhere. Why are they not here? Now I understand that there is no process there, right? So it probably doesn't know how to process those files, but still there should be empty files if that's the case. Let's see, static core, write files, yeah? Oh, this is static web. I want to go with static core. Now I have to say the code is nicely structured, so this is really nice. This is really easy to navigate through. So it's static core write files. It's not there. Write files. Not there. Okay. Let's try this again. Write files. There we go. Add new write files, there it is. Write files module. Now let's see. Ignore empty content is set to true. All right, so now that makes a lot of sense. That means if there is no content there, we probably just ignore it. Now that finally makes sense. All right, so if there is no content, then the write files ignores the content. So I have to have something in here to actually make it not ignore the content. Now, merge content. So maybe this is a problem that it wants input /article. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. No. Articles pipeline. Okay, now it failed. All right. So if I go back to article, five and output nothing. And now it removes also the sitemap. But the sitemap is not even called. Why is sitemap not called here? Okay, this is so. Oh my god. This is so hard to debug, really. Like, it still keeps telling me value cannot be null, but I have no idea where that is, why that happens, because I'm not using that anywhere. It's happening somewhere inside the framework, and I have no idea how to fix it. What I can do, though, is Google for static value cannot be null. Maybe I'll find something. Or maybe not. No, I want static to be in there. Let's see. So static used to be YM, so maybe I'll find an answer here. Value cannot be null. Okay, no answer here. Likely a bug would notify sharp. No, the guy is not responding even. Oh, here it is. But that's related to Newton soft. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that. But it seems like this is a problem. So what if I want to just render a simple thing? Like, how do I render a simple thing into the output module that it does render something? Because otherwise, so I'm just going to comment this out again. Because otherwise, it shows five documents to be rendered, but the write files likely just omits them because it has ignore empty content set to true. So, it would be really helpful if there was like a list of these are the process modules that you can use. These are the input modules that you can use. Is that somewhere, or am I missing that? No, it's a resource mirroring now. So what am I looking for? Scripts, templates, assets, data. By default, data files are not output. You may want to adjust this behavior for individual data files. Can be controlled. It should output metadata, and there are a few ways to set it. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't know. Okay, content files are processed based on their media type. MD processed file as Markdown. CSHTML processes the file as Razor. In all cases, global processing is performed and layouts and themes are applied. Many themes treat content differently depending on what subfolder the files are in. For example, themes for blogging offer infer blog posts should go in an input/post subfolder. Configurable settings. Accessing content files. Content files are processed by the content pipeline and can be accessed through the output property of the execution context. input files. So let's check where the merge content lives. Okay, here's sync child documents module, merge content. Read files, pairs, articles, CSHTML. What does this do? Render the razor view into the content of the document. Okay, I'm just gonna try to uncomment this for a second and put here a breakpoint. So see if what's happening inside of here. I'm just gonna try to debug this. Okay, input modules, those are working. We know those are working. Process modules, all right. So let's go in. Output modules. Okay, yeah, let's make this go away. Now, context. What's in context? Context module is a render razor. Starting articles pipeline process phase execution. 5 input documents and 2 modules. Okay. Now I have no idea how to see if this actually rendered something or if this actually did something. Pull in the razor view, merge content. You know, it'd be nice to probably take the whole package and be able to debug also these modules, which should be possible if you just take it all inside, but it's something that shouldn't be necessary from a usable or usage point of view. This is again the same thing. So the output is still empty. Okay, if you have any idea what to do now, let me know. I don't, because this is just not working for me. And I have no idea how to find out if this is working, or I don't know how to find out if this is working. If I should put here input/article or just article, because if I look back here, this says output content straight to file. Oh, so here we see new, okay, so input modules is new content article, client. And it says use the body content field as the document content. Okay, I'm gonna try that. So dot with content page dot title. Okay, now maybe this is gonna take us somewhere. Set the output path for each article. So that's what we do. And then write files. So we comment out this part again. Let's run this. Okay, so we got output 5 documents. Okay, now we got articles here. Cool. Now this is working. So brief history of typography. This is what I'm looking for, right? So this works. Now let's see the sitemap. Sitemap is still not working, so /article, but let's work on that later. So this is working, all right. Rendering razor view. All right, there we go. So add a razor view named _article into input. So, okay, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna put here underscore model, my models article. So this will be Cantico content models dot article. No, he doesn't like that. So perhaps I need to do it this way. Model title, I have it there. The razor view uses the C# model class generated by content, blah, blah, blah. So now we use the whole model. And here you go. So new merge content, new read files, patterns, _article. So only the _article. So patterns is _article.cshtml, like it's here. Yeah. 2 brackets. So this is the merge content. And then new render razor with model. New render razor with model. And only Cantico content config as article. Okay, that's a different thing than what I had here. Content config. It says content config. Where is content config coming from? Cantico content deliver abstractions. Okay, let me check if I have all the namespaces here. Cantico content models. Content config does not exist in the current context. This does not exist. So I guess I'll use this, but this didn't work before. See, this fails. So this says here with model content config, but this is not working at all. Okay, filtering content, resolvers, accessing content. Content static wraps the strong typed content model in a static document. In order to access the strong typed model within the document, a couple of helpers are available. So it still keeps saying that there is content config. Let's see. Content config. Okay, here it is. So maybe I'm using an old version of this. Latest commit 19 hours ago. Okay, that makes sense. Let's do it that way then. Content config. How do I update? Okay, so static content static. How do I update on package on .NET Core? Okay, still the same page. Come on. How do I update? Project package name. Okay, let's try to do it that way then. .NET. Was it .NET? They say it's just .NET add package. Content.static. Package content static is incompatible with all frameworks in project. All right, so we need to define the version. How do I, okay, here's the nearest version. All right, so that's what I want, right? So it says -v and the version. So that would be 1.0.0 beta 0008. Okay. Now, will you please stop complaining? There we go. So let's start. Okay. It still doesn't work. Still doesn't work. So what do we do? Is there something else that I'm missing here, guys? With project ID, use production API. Let's check if that is correct. That's all fine. It's got to be in the pipeline somewhere. Merge content, read files, article. Content article. content article client. Oh, there shouldn't be, okay. There shouldn't be that. Only this, I forgot to change that. New content article client only. Okay, let's see if that makes any change. No, still the same. No output folder. Let's see if the path is the same. Article. Oh, there is only item here. Oh, like this. Okay. So this was changed. Let me just use this. So item.slug in my case. Update your set destination to like in there. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. But I don't think that's gonna be the problem because the destination was working before. No, that's not the problem. Still, post process doesn't work and output is 0. And the folder is not there. So what do we do? So this still complains that render razor cannot be null. So what if we check the render razor? So it's probably complaining. Render. Oh, this might be in the other assembly, right? Oh, there it is. Render razor. Render razor base page type. No. With view start. With view start. No, we want with. What if I do with layout? So it probably complains that it doesn't have a path. So what if I do with layout here and provide a path to it? A delegate that should return the layout path as path. Transform X, normalized path. So this requires a normalized path. So what if I do here dot with layout? New normalized path. And here I just want underscore article.cshtml. No, still nothing. Still complaining about the freaking value of something, but I don't know what that something is. So let's see here, skipping pipeline, blah, blah, blah. Exception while executing pipeline, article pipeline, process, value cannot be null, parameter value. So now I'd be interested to know, like, can I do this? Like, put this stuff in here and do return? Probably not. Okay, so what if we do module equals new render razor, blah, blah, blah. Return module. Can't do this. No, he doesn't like it. Okay. But this is just any, I can do this probably anywhere, right? Public input modules. So this just sets the modules. So what I can do here is set this up here. Just to see what stuff is in there. Okay. So does the value error only happen when you do have the process models? Yeah. Or no, I don't know. Let's check. I think yeah. Because if I just comment this out, it will not render anything because it will not process anything, but the value, the error will not happen. So yeah, it's somewhere over here. So now I just want to check what's in the module. Let's see. Ignore prefix, layout path. Okay, so what's in the layout path? Delegate. So the layout path is correctly set to _ article CSHTML. Okay. And model. Static command config object. View start path is null. Interesting. No, this is nothing more interesting here. So does the value error on the, yeah, could the value cannot be null be coming from the razor page? Yeah, I tried that, but I don't think so. Like, there's nothing that could be. You know, what I can also do is just remove the view import, do the article CSHTML just like it's here. Like this. Like to do the model, just the model. Oh, that should be article. And just move this back. Yeah, you're right. Update to like the example, yeah. Just gonna keep this in here. So let's see. No, still the same error. And now we don't even have the output folder again. So still the same error, guys. Render razor value cannot be null. Parameter name value. I'm just wondering, maybe there is something that cannot be null here, but that shouldn't be the case. Because other, R equals R. Now the model is correctly set, so that should be a problem here. No. So what if we just omit the with model and use only render razor? And in the render razor, we'll say there is no model here. There's no model title. Come on. We're just gonna say hello world. No, still a problem here. So it's not that. It's not with the model here. Okay, I'm running out of ideas here, guys. If you see something that I'm missing, let me know. But I don't see anything here. This should just be working. I don't know why it isn't. What if you just merge content? Still value cannot be null. And if I remove this, still value cannot be null. Render content post-processing template, execute if render razor, again render razor here. Value cannot be null. All right, so it's, from my point of view, the problem is somewhere over here. I don't know what that is, but obviously it's not coming from this code. Render content post-process templates. And only after I rename this to something like this, it still says value cannot be null. So it's not even there. I don't know why it's running render razor. what's the problem there? Like, but something is wrong here. Content post-process, render content post-process templates. Oh, compiling index MD. Okay, let's try it this way. Okay, this worked. Sitemap.xml. Okay, now it created the articles. Let's see. Model, canonical content model. So this works. So this works. This gets the right data. Now, when I want to call the new render razor with that model, it fails with value cannot be null. So this is definitely something in the render razor. It can't be anything else. So I'm using with model. I'm giving it the model. It returns this. So I assume it runs the module. It fails on something. But it's not the layout. It's not the model. It's somewhere over here, likely. I think I'd have to, debug this part to see what's really going on in there, because obviously something is failing here. And I don't know, I would have to debug the code. I don't know how to figure it out right now from this. So I guess that we're not gonna go through with this, through this error in this stream, guys. Because it just says the same thing. Oh, this was deleted again. This is of course deleted as well. So this is not working. This is definitely not working. And the problem is here. Because the merge content works. It just copies whatever is in the CSHTML file. Just copies that in the output. So the only thing that should work and it's not working is the render razor. So yeah, maybe I'll try to get someone from the static team to take a look at this. Or I could just take the code of the static what is it? Is it static.framework? Yeah, static.framework, and I could just download that and try it and debug that. But that would be for another time. maybe I'll just take this for the next week to see what the problem is there. But that will probably require me downloading all these things and manually connecting those. So not something I'm gonna do today. So yeah, I hope you learned something new. I definitely learned how to at least find some of these things, to find, where the problem is. And that this is not really a very, very well error message. That it's not really telling me much about where the problem is. I know that the problem is somewhere in the render razor. But otherwise, you see, now it's in the article/ghtml. Previously, it was in the article/the origins, so it was the other way around. So it seems like it's not really depending on what kind of content it gets. So it's rather something that would be global for all the pages, all the content items. Yeah. Anyway, I'll try to debug this. I'll try to prepare this for next week. We can then debug it next week. But right now I'm really tired and I don't really feel like trying to get this all working now. So thanks very much for watching, guys. If you have any ideas how to get this working, what is the easiest way how to put this all together? Because I've never tried to debug a plugin before in .NET, only in JavaScript. So let me know what's the best way. Just send me a message on Twitter or somewhere. I'll be happy for any advice. What is the fastest way how to handle this? Otherwise, have a great weekend, guys. I hope that you will enjoy that, and I'll see you next week on the stream. Watch the Twitter. Maybe I'll try something tomorrow. So watch that, subscribe, or follow me if you don't already, and I'll see you next week. So thanks and bye.